from Kid2Kid Tutorials, and we're going to be graphing quadratics, or specifically, graphing parabolas. So now I'm going to explain to you what a parabola is. So a parabola, so we got this from Math is Fun. You should visit it. It's a good site. So the definition of a parabola is a curve where any point is at an equal distance from a fixed point, which is called the focus, and a fixed straight line, called the directrix. So here is the focus, and the equal distance, and the directrix. So now that you know a little bit more about parabolas, we're going to some problems. So now we're going to graph it. So the equation for a parabola is y equals x squared. So we're going to plug in some numbers for x. So we're going to plug in 0 for x, and that would be our starting point, or our focus. So x equals 0. So y equals x squared. So 0 times 0, 0 times 0, that's the same thing as 0 squared. And 0 times 0 is just 0. So y equals 0 when x equals 0. So we know when x equals 0, y equals 0. And when y equals 0, x also equals 0. So now the next thing on my list, we wrote this to check off everything that x can equal. So you can do 0, 1, 2, 3, and -1, -2, -3. And x can equal infinite many numbers. But we're just going to do these for now. So let's get to the problem. When x equals 1, what does y equal? So we can plug in 1 for x, and we would get y equals 1 squared. And 1 squared is the same thing as 1 times 1. And 1 times 1 is just 1. So when x equals 1, y also equals 1. So we're going to plot this. How? Since x equals 1, right there, and y equals 1, we go to the right one space and up one space. So we have a 0, 0, and a 1, 1 on our graph so far. So let's keep going. So 2. If x equals 2, then what would y equal? So we plug in 2 for x, and that's 2 squared. That's the same thing as 2 times 2, which is 4. So when x equals 2, y equals 4. So we go up 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we go to the right 2. 1, 2, right there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, yeah. Now let's go to our other portion of this graph. So now we have to plug in 3 for x. So if we do, we get 3 squared, and 3 squared is 9. 3 times 3 is 9. So obviously we didn't think about this before, but we don't have any 9 in this graph. So we're just going to pretend. So we go to the right 3, 1, 2, 3, and then up 9. Let's just pretend that's 9. Sorry. So now we go to -1. You plug in -1 for x, and you get -1 squared. -1 times -1, and that's a positive 1. So when x is -1, y is a positive 1. So -1, positive 1, right there. And now let's do -2. So we plug in -2 for x, we get -2 times -2, and that's 4. So when x is -2, y equals 4. So the same place here, but on the other side. So now we go on to -3. So when you plug in -3 for x, we get a positive 9. -3 times 3. -3 times -3 is positive 9. So up there, we'll put a 9. 1, 2, 3, and up here. So look at this. What would you call this? So these are symmetrical. So we can just write lines through it. And these are symmetrical. What that means, if you fold this in half, and if you fold it in half, you get the same exact thing, half of this graph. So that's what a parabola is. I shoot my graphs up in the air sometimes, saying, Ayo, I'm Albert Einstein. Oh shoot, we're rolling. Totally forgot. Thanks a lot for reminding me, Mom. Okay, so now we're going to start looking at different quadratics. So you probably know this isn't the only this isn't the only way a quadratic faces. There's other ways too. So let's look at some images from askmath.com. So I know these look weird. We had to copy and paste them, but you can go to their website if it looks too weird for you. So we have these. So notice the differences here. If you want it to face right or left, it has to be a y squared, not an x squared like that. So you have a 4x, so it's a positive coefficient, so you know it's going to face toward the positive side. So notice, it's not on the left side, which is the negative side. And the opposite thing with this, it's a y squared equals a negative 4x. So it has a negative coefficient, so it faces the left side, or the negative side. And here, there's a difference here, y squared and an x squared. So if it's a y squared, you know it's going to be facing right or left. If it's an x squared, you know it's going to be facing up or down. So this is a positive coefficient, so it's facing upwards. And this is a negative coefficient, so it's facing downwards. So these are some different types of parabolas. Thank you for watching Kid2Kid Tutorials. And if you like our videos, please share, like, and subscribe. Thank you.